So, my name is Jaurice Clay, and I have the absolute pleasure today of speaking with a great friend, a mentor, and the brainchild of this Vyrós concept and conference. So, right now, we're going to talk to Aaron Thomason, also known as Aaron Victor. Um, and he is going to give us some insight today on the Vyrós 2025 conference because while I have the esteemed pleasure of being part of the conference, I have never been to the conference. And so I am looking forward to this. And I have some questions that I wanted to ask him before I got into the space with you all. So here we go. Aaron,
Here we go. What's up?
how are
So,
you?
so first of all, I don't want Jareese to make it seem like I got aliases or nothing. That's what happened when
Okay,
you
you're
got
right. You're right.
friends
Let me bring that back.
that have
Okay.
known you for over 30 some odd years. They call you by, I could be
Your
Pookie,
government.
Baby. She's just
Yep.
like, let me give this man all of this. Listen, it's all me. It's just iterations of me. But I'm with my
Mm.
girl. We'll have a good time.
Okay. You are Aaron Victor, and we have the pleasure of picking your mind on this amazing concept of VROS 2025. Thank you first for allowing me to be part of it. I'm excited. I am so excited. But I think one of the things that's most intriguing to me about VROS 2025 is that I've yet to be a part of it. While I am a part of it, I'm not a part of it yet. Like, so what is VROS 2025? Like, tell me, tell the people, what is it?
So first of all, we got to extend Jury some grace. This is only the second year. So let's just be clear. Second year. This is the beginning of what we believe to be a movement. For this to
Mhm.
be a true intersection and connection of both purpose, destiny, and community. And what we wanted to be able to do with Vyrós is to be able to create a space in which people can be heard, seen, and valued, to be able to explore the things that they've probably been keeping dormant, to put them in a position that they, one, know they don't have to do it alone. Two,
Mhm.
they can actually answer the call that they've been having, that whisper, that quietness that's becoming real loud in their spirits, and ultimately take what they see in their minds and allow for it to be the reality of their lives. So,
Mhm.
from a macro perspective, that really is what we endeavored to do with Vyrós last year. And people enjoyed themselves, and the transformation was happening so great that they say, can you run it back? So we said yes.
Awesome. And see, that's the space I'm in right now. I've shared openly, and I don't mind sharing again, that my father passed in July, on July 13th. And prior to his passing, I was deep diving into my passion, which is coaching in the communication space. And I was doing that. And then his health started to decline, and I needed to be intentional and focused on family. Well, since he's passed, I use that now as my motivation. And I want to carry on his legacy in my living and use my gifts to make room for me and use my gifts to bring people to him. Now, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor, I'm not. You've heard my mouth, you know I'm not, okay? But I have a word and I have a spirit and I have a light. And I feel like he didn't give it to me just to hold on to for myself. And so I feel like that's what this conference is about. That's what this conference helps people to understand in themselves and to manifest. So, what about this conference made you lean into the word Vyrós? First, explain what Vyrós means and how this concept connects to the meaning.
Yeah. So what's interesting as you kind of talk about it is I want people when they go, what is VROS? It was kind of very intentional because we don't feel like it fits into any neat bucket.
Mm.
When you think about VROS, what we've been able to do, and now going on this second year, is to create it with three kind of tentacles. One part conference, one part community, and one part celebration. Why is that important? Because yes, we've gotten into this virtual environment where we just wanted to kind of hang out at the house and make it convenient, but nothing beats being able to get in person. And some of y'all don't even know it, but Jaurice ain't never met a stranger, and when she sees you in person, she gonna give you one of the best hugs. Oh my God. Gonna make you not want to move. And you're gonna release all of what's been in you because somebody actually genuinely wanted you in their presence. So you can't beat being in person. So that's conference. Then we talk about in the conference of doing things live, a live event, community. What happens with a lot of people is they've been going through life, saying, "Oh, forget it, I do it myself," or man, I can't
Mhm.
get nobody to help me, and I'm just gonna be. And what happens is that the size of their dream, the size of their purpose has been reduced to what they can actually do themselves. And so, what I wanted to be able to do is says, I trust enough of what I'm bringing together, what God has given me to bring a community of people who are like minded that says, hey, Jaurice, hey, Aaron, you don't have to do this by yourself. I feel like I'm called to help you bring yours to fruition, or something you said actually helps me there, or my experience can actually help you there. And all these things together makes doing something different not so scary. But the
Mhm.
last part that I think is most important is one of the reasons why people don't do hard work is because they don't celebrate. If you in that grind and in that peace and in that movement, and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna get there and make it happen. What happens is that you think about the next goal after you set the first goal, and you never get a chance to celebrate the goal that you just hit.
Mm.
So we know we getting ready to do some work. It's gonna be some crying, it's gonna be some laughing, it's gonna be some joking, it's gonna be some ideas. It's like it's gonna be a whole thing. And what we want people to sit back and go, man, I'm proud of me. And sitting across from the table, I get to know Jaurice. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
And we get a chance to put on some clothes, turn on the music, eat nice, and celebrate each other because we took the time to do the hard work, which was the hard work. Now, I know you had another question, but I put that out there first, and I want to give you a chance to respond before I keep going.
Well, you had me at eat good. And I say that because as a girl who's never missed a meal, no, seriously. But I feel like, from what I understand from some of the participants from last year, um, there was some good eating. But from what you're saying, we're going to be fed. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like, wow, we
Mm-hmm.
will, yes, we will attain sustenance. We will achieve that, but we are going to be fed, meaning
Yes.
our spirits will be fed, our minds, our purpose. We will be fed, therefore led to move into our destiny, our purpose, our God given strength and talents to help improve the quality of our lives and the lives of those around us, and even more. Am I wrong?
That's a yes. I mean, you said it. We were on a call recently, and you said, oh, we going to eat while being fed.
Mhm.
Now, some people gonna look and say, Aaron, we look at your registration and okay, you got a nice price tag on that. Some people ain't batting an eye, and some people got questions on it. I'm gonna tell you what I want to do. If you make a decision to get into your vehicle, whether you close and you driving, whether you far and you flying, whether you say, I just got to get there, I got to walk, I got to crawl, I got to get there. However you get to where we gonna be in Brandywine, Maryland, October the 3rd and the 4th, I want to make sure that you didn't have nothing else to worry about when you came to do that hard work. You came to
Mm.
connect with people you didn't know. So we not only are talking about feeding you this, and no shade to the other events, but I can promise you, I can probably tell you, feel real confident that nobody feeds their people better than we do.
Okay, now
Nobody.
this is not a fire festival.
No,
We're not doing
absolutely.
that. Got
Listen,
it.
not at all. We got a 3-star Michelin chef, culinary expert that's coming in that has curated every menu for breakfast and lunch, then breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then ultimately brunch on Sunday after worship.
Mm.
Very intentional. They've been for celebrities. They've been for things on Capitol Hill. Like this team with Chef Alejandro and his team. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna tell you, you might not eat like this normally, but you're gonna eat like this when you're with me.
Okay. Well, I can appreciate that because you and I break bread and we have a great time in celebrating. And so, and I know we always make time whenever we connect for the hard work. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not always hard work when you and I come together for the hard work. So I can appreciate that. But for some, they need to be um, just mended, molded, and moved in the right direction.
for sure.
So I appreciate that. Now tell me who is on your like almost your executive team and who is working with you to make this happen.
Yeah. So when you talk about the VROS team, you gotta look at three key individuals that have been rolling with me from the very beginning. One would be my lovely wife, Ebonique. Two would be CJ, who is what we call our creative designer, puts all the finishing touches like, oh, I didn't think that was going to be important. So you got CJ, and then you have the project manager, Candace Mackey. Those three women have been with me from the very beginning. Another kind of adjacent person that's kind of been with me behind the scenes and stepping on the front this year has been our guy called himself Kurt the Connector, where he has now been solidified as a community expert through Mighty Networks, has the ability to be what we call him the ultimate plug. And he is really in the formation of this movement, of this community, has been a tremendous advisor. And he and I are actually going to have an opportunity to be able to teach together on Saturday morning, which is going to be super, super fun. If you've ever seen the two of us together, we need to act like we got some parents around and behave because we're going to have way too much fun helping the people.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that because I too need parental guidance and sometimes I constantly feel the Lord tugging at me like, get it together, girl. I'm like, okay, I do right, but you made me this way. But I digress. Um
But can we go back to one of your questions you had? Because I
yeah,
went off the script and I need to go back to the question because I think it's a fair question.
that's fine.
And so when we talk about what actually is VROS, why the name?
Yes.
People have asked me that before. And so one of the things I talked about earlier in the conversation is this space where people don't feel safe to kind of explore alone, to be able to explore what they hear in their heads or what they feel in their spirits. And so where a lot of times that comes from a space in which you maybe have been fumbled, you maybe been mishandled by people closest to you.
Mm,
And when we look at what the scriptures talk about, it talks about in Jeremiah that he knew us before the foundation of the world, that we were already called. That means we were already qualified and enough. And so being qualified and enough before we actually came to our parents means that they got a chance to inherit us. And there's a lot of people that have been inherited by people who didn't know what to do with them. So they tried to put a label on you. They tried to give you some messaging or put you in a box that would limit who you were, and you always felt like that's not me. And so why do I give us that as a framework of understanding is because God created every last one of us to be a hero. He
mm,
called us specifically for a cause at this time in this moment for us to fulfill. And so that's what Vyrós means. It's an ancient Greek word called hero. And what it is that we believe these three things that happens as members of Vyrós, of people who identify that there's a hero journey that they're going to walk through as long as they're on this planet. One, we will leave the world a better place in which we found it. Two, we are going to turn the world upside down as is
mm.
outlined in the scriptures in Acts 2. And then last, we're going to ultimately live and leave a dream. So that's
Mm.
Vyrós.
Amen. Now you said something that is so powerful, and I'm sure people like as soon as you said it, it hit. You said people have been fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are the bag, and
Mm-hmm.
people have fumbled us. I tell people all the time, I don't have a problem being used. I never have a problem being used. We're all being used. The problem I have is when I've been misused.
Hello.
And so to get any understanding and clarity in this space, having been fumbled, having been misused, I am ready. When I tell you my plate is open and ready, and again, I'm ready to eat good, but I'm ready to be fed. So thank you for that. To be fumbled, we have been fumbled. That's
Yeah.
powerful. Okay, so you've explained to us what Vyros is,
Mm-hmm.
what Vyros means.
Mm-hmm.
Hero. We are heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But move more into the space of, if you don't mind, again, this is not just for my understanding, this could be for somebody else too. But what are we thinking of in terms of a theme for VROS 2025?
Yeah. So great. Great question. So if you look at anything that's out right now, this year we wanted to entitle Vyrós its theme, The Release.
Mm,
And so with the release, the tagline behind the release is simply this: you cannot reach what's in front of you, nor let go of what's behind you until you release what's in you.
mm, come on now.
And so that's part of what happens when you've been fumbled, when you've been
Mm,
mishandled, is that it makes you guard and keep things tight. I don't want to trust anybody else again. I figured out how to be able to survive through this space and kind of keep it moving. And what happens at the world, you can't live and leave a dream because the world isn't a better place with you holding on to what you got as opposed to releasing what you have.
mm,
And so what we wanted to do is to be able to create a space that gives an opportunity for whether it's good or bad, whether it's purpose or trauma, to give people an opportunity to be able to release.
yeah.
And one of those things that one of those workshops is going to happen was a woman, brilliant woman I met doing a podcast by the name of Dr. LaRonda. And so her ability to be certified in all of the, emotional intelligence and, has her PhD in these different areas and she speaks in these particular spaces, but also through her personal journey of grief and counseling people through it, she understands what it means to help people start to be able to release. And
Okay.
what we believe that we're going to do is that you're going to leave the trash, the burdens, the garbage, and the junk with us as you go back into your world. So
Mm,
you move lighter and you move into a space in which now you can clearly see what you were always meant to be. And now you got new people with you. They can also remind you as you go back into your world. So that was VROS 2025, the release. That was kind of the thinking behind that.
awesome. Now, when I think about the release, of course, some people will probably get into that space of, oh Lord, it's gonna be a whole lot of crying. It's gonna be folks wailing. It's gonna be people walking around with tissue boxes and plastic bags to catch the tissue because they're gonna have everybody in there crying and releasing, right? But when I think of release, I think about something that's even r- directly over your left shoulder. It's your book.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the gifts. It's your latest book. Let me say
Mm-hmm.
that. I think about the gifts that you have shared and released to improve people's lives, to improve the industry. And when I say the industry, um, it's really the calling, and I know the calling when we have been called to our greatness, we don't consider that an industry, but there is a market for everything that every gift that we have and every great thing that we do. And so what led to your release? What led to theming 2025's VROS conference, the release, and what have you given or released in you to help create greatness in the world?
Man,
It's a big question.
the short answer is this. I'll couch it and answer it this way. Dr. Darius Daniels, the lead pastor of Change Church, makes a statement and sets his foundational premise, and he says it this way. He says that all of us are better in this world because of our ability to consume.
Mm,
And he explains it this way. He says, your health is better based on the food you consume. Now, somebody had to create it, plan it, plug it, package it, send it out for you to be able to get it from the grocery store. If you got a nice style that you fly, you are, as a consumer, somebody had to have the idea for the design, curate the look, whether you saw all of it or pieces of it, you go to the store, get it. So now your outfits are better because you consume, your health is better because you consumed. And so he says this. So if consumption makes your body and makes your life better, who is it? Who are you? Let me say this. Who are you to not create something for people to consume?
mm, come on now.
I said, man, he said, who are you not to create? Because somebody created to make your life better for you to consume. Who are you to sit back and say, I don't create for other people to consume to make their lives better? And so when you look at that level of conviction, you go back and you're going, all right, so then what do I have? What do I have to be able to give people. And it's difficult because a lot of times we're going to look at this thing through the lens of social media, which puts us in a position of comparison, which allows for us to always look back and look at our things as less than or maybe more than we're supposed to. And the
Mhm.
only thing that I have are my experiences and my story. That's it. That's all I got. So last year's Vyrós 2024, we advertised it at one part party, one part conference, one part book release. So it was at Vyrós last year in which I released my book Good Enough that went on to be a bestseller on Amazon in a bunch of different categories. And so what do I feel like has happened? I believe that through the strength of community, through the strength of prayers and support, to be able to be vulnerable in my story, to be able to put it out for people to consume. I've heard the stories back that their lives have been better based on consuming my experiences, which made them feel like they weren't alone. So
Mm.
I would say that would be part of it and kind of building a whole kind of movement and event around it.
Okay. Awesome. Now I know your brother and your sister
Hmm.
are directly connected to this project as well. How will they help us in our release at the release?
So I've gotten comfortable, and I think the event last year, V-Rouse last year, did that for me. Is if you read my book, if you know anything about me, I am the oldest of the three of us. I love my brother and sister tremendously. I am probably both physically and literally their biggest fan. Them my people. We call each other our day ones. But what's interesting when you grow up and you go, actually, we all went to the same high school. Shout out to Cass Tech.
Oh.
We all went to the same high school together. Is that when you're bonded as close as we are, you actually don't notice the things that aren't normal to everybody else because it's normal to you.
Mm.
And one of the things that stood out last year is that we still have pictures in other people's phones that don't have them in them. And it was weird to me because we'd be standing the three of us together, like, hey, you want to get in the picture? Like, nah, I just want to take a picture. And I was like, okay. That was kind. And then somebody else was like, no, we want to take the picture. I'm like, I don't want to get it. Nope, we want. And I'm going, what is this? And they said, we've never seen three siblings who is as good as you all individually, who actually love each other to the depth that you do, that make the impact that y'all make together. Nah, that's divine. We need a picture of what that standard looks like. Now, I couldn't have told you that growing up in Detroit and catching the bus and everything else that we would be the standard of family and excellence and impact. I didn't see that coming. I just know that anytime I'm endeavoring to do something, them two the first people I'm calling. Now, people gonna say, Aaron, them your brother and sister. You're a homer, you're a doting big brother. That's true. That is true. But two things can't be true. Like my sister's a big deal. She is lead pastor as well as a VP for medical research and equity in one of the largest medical organizations in the country. And she actually has the ability to be able to help people and understand how to find their passion and to be able to build their purpose around it. So I'm
Mm.
going, I don't need to talk about this. I need to let her talk about it. And then you have my brother who is annoyingly a savant. Like anything he puts his hands to, he does as if he's been an expert for that. He's an award-winning filmmaker. He's got some new stuff at festivals right now. He's a best-selling author. He's a Billboard top 10, top 25 record producer. Whatever he does, it's annoying. And so when you talk about his ability to be able to also understand what God wants for our lives is both godliness and our lives, to be able to bring the two of them together, that doesn't have to be something separate, which is a misnomer a lot of people talk about. I'm like, why wouldn't I bring them? And so when people talk about us from last year, they call us the big three. And so I was like, hey, the big three got to come show back up. And so when I call them and say, hey, I need y'all, without question, they clear their calendars. And I'm telling you, I've been talking to the two of them really close over the last few weeks. They
Mm.
on one. I'm just telling
Ooh.
you that they own one on a whole different level. You do not want to miss it. If it was just the three of us, it will be worth your time and your investment. But I already told you about Dr. LaRonda. And listen, you don't want to miss it. And I think that's why I'm so insistent on being able to make sure that this model isn't one about a cattle call and just numbers. This really is intentionally been more of a smaller, boutique, intimate kind of vibe because we want the restoration and the transformation to take place, and that happens on a one-on-one level.
So this is okay. Talk about hype your bestie up. Like I am, and the way I'm hyped is not the way that the song meant, but I am hype. I'm ready. What do you need of me? Like I'm coming to Vyrós 2025. Now I know I'm in a capacity that might be a little different from some of the attendees, but what do you need? Let's say I was an attendee. Let's say I'm a legend. Let's say I invest in me enough to say I want to be a legend because I am. What do you need of me when I come into that legend space? When I say, okay, here I am, I'm open, I'm ready. Here's my here's my release space, right? Here's me ready to get fully immersed in this opportunity in this experience. What do I need to bring? What do I need to have with me?
So that's actually funny, the release face.
Yeah, sorry.
We may have to use that. Did you bring your release face?
I mean, yeah, keep it cute. Keep it cute.
That blessed me. I'm sorry. I'm silly. If y'all have not know, I'm silly. That blessed
That's
me.
fine.
The
That's
release
fine.
face. So I'm saying one of the things you need to pack is your release face. Okay. That
Okay.
means if it show up on your face, that means you mean it in your spirit. Let me just say that first. So you pack
Right.
your release face.
Okay.
If we talk about, and you heard Jaurice talk about legend, a legend investment, and then you have a hero investment. So one of the things why we wanted to separate and kind of create two different experiences, but they all roads converge October the 3rd and the 4th, is because there's some people who've been doing the work a little bit longer. Like
Hmm.
Jaurice talked about with herself. Hey, she had some life things happen recently, but she was already kind of grinding. And she and I've had those conversations. And there are people that have been with me before that they've been on the path and we've been working together for a year. And they kind of got the gear kicked into a different way where they don't need as much like mindset leveling. They want a different level of like execution. Let's kind of get to it. And
Hmm.
so that's part of what the legends are. They've done the work. They're in the process of healing. They spent some time from a restoration perspective, and now they're in the process of transforming their lives, transforming how they see themselves, transforming the ideas in their mind to actually be the lives that they live. So the legends, anybody who signs up for the legend experience gets the opportunity to have access to the pre-event legends only kind of gathering. And so that actually is on October the 2nd. That's actually not advertised. It only goes to the people who decide they want to be legends. And
Okay.
so what we want to do is have a more intimate feel where we get a chance to talk a little bit more raw, be a little bit more open, have more time for that group that's looking for that next gear up. And the topics we're going to talk about that night really kind of help set the foundation of, okay, let me be reminded it's time for me to get going. Oh, that's the thing that I was missing. Oh, that's the thing that I need to get done. And so in that Legends night is going to be myself, my sister, Dr. Angela, and also my homie, Dr. Joy. And so the three of us are coming to give y'all everything we got, like everything we got. And that's not even how the event, we ain't even started the event. This is the pre event Legends only. We got a few spots available. I'm just going to tell you if you can get and be part of the Legend spot, please do. We got special gifts for the Legends as well. There'll be priority seating because we want you to be up front so you don't have to deal with some of the distractions that could be happening in the back.
Hmm.
But just understand, navigating as a legend gives a different level of responsibility, but also with the different level of responsibility, there's a different level of expectation. And so
Hmm.
those who have already signed up are coming with a different level of expectation that allows for us to be able to give them everything that we have, answer in the ways that we know how to be able to literally create quantum leaps and exponential growth, even if it's just in that one night. We want them to get everything they need October the 2nd. So that's kind of that space. Now, you did ask a question that I want to say for everybody. What do I need to bring? What do I need to
Hmm.
bring? Here's what I usually tell people because we gonna supply you with a lot. What do you need to bring? One, bring an open heart, bring an open mind, and we're gonna give you the other supplies. Aaron, you keeping it that simple? That simple. Because if your mind and your heart are open, then you get a chance to receive what's being given to you.
Yeah.
Now, how are we going to capture all this? We're going to give you journals. You're going to have a journal that's going to feel different than any other journal that you have, because I want you to feel like you're rewriting your story in the moment. Very intentional. We got pens and stuff that we're gonna give you for writing utensils. You'll have that too. We're also gonna make sure you got some other goodies that's in the bag, for you to be able to kind of keep things going while you're there with us. So two things you need to pack: pack your open heart, your open mind, and we'll get you the rest. Because remember, you're gonna eat good while you're being fed.
Awesome. 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 Is there anything else that we need to know? I tell you what, I know one thing people probably need to know. How do they register? Because you mentioned this was a boutique experience. So that means that we are not trying to sell this at a Chris Brown number. Okay. We're trying to keep it cute, keep it intentional, keep it purposeful, and make it impactful.
For sure.
So when you say it's a boutique experience, how many people are we looking to? Well, not even how many people. I want to really ask, who is this for and how can they register?
Yeah. So I'll answer the simple question first. You can go register, and I feel like an old infomercial, www.level3.com/tickets. So that's LVLTHREE.com/tickets. And there you'll find an opportunity to sign up for either experience, whether it's the hero experience or the legend experience. Either one of those guides you straight through it. At registration, you can put in a discount code called E60, the letter E as in Edward, and the number 60, put it in, and it will actually bring the amount of your investment down. So when we talk about how many people we're anticipating, it's going to be less than 100. That was very intentional.
Mhm.
And so we want to be able to have what we're calling the V60, the Vyrós 60. These individuals that are coming together that are saying, hey, we want to be here. Now, who is this for? Whether you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, you're a professional, this could be for you. If you're someone who says, I'm tired of succumbing to the disappointments and frustrations, I'm tired of going at life alone, and I want to be able to be around people who can actually help me take what's in my head and actually make it what my life could look like, and I want to see that it's possible, it's for those groups of people. It's for somebody who wants a safe place, because maybe you're around people that actually don't get you. Maybe you're around some people that think that your ideas are crazy. We've created a safe place for you to be able to explore. When I think through people like James Setter, who came last year, who's coming again this year, she said that Vyrós gave me ability to clear my head for things that I was thinking were for somebody else. I realized for me, and she's been executing at an amazing clip over the last 12 months. Just when you think about that, there's a dude, young fella named James, who came through last year, that James talked about how he had a couple of business ideas he was kind of thinking through, and the environment allowed for his mind to be clear for him to be able to execute on what he's been doing over the last year. And I got stories upon stories about stories of people that have done that in just 1 year. So if you're looking for a place that's safe to explore, that you won't be judged about what you hear in your head or what you feel in your spirit, and it could be business, it could be personal, it could be leadership driven. It's going to help you, because we believe at Vyrós, if you come to the intersection of personal, spiritual, and leadership development, you will have a holistic approach at the very thing that you were called to do, and be able to consistently walk out your hero's journey, which will allow for you to live and leave a dream.
This is awesome, Aaron. This is awesome. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I feel like I need to do some more, like to get ready. But how can you just get ready for just being open? I mean, like, I don't think it's possible to prepare for being open. You just open yourself up and just be ready to receive so you can release. Hmm,
Yeah.
that's something important.
Yeah.
Um, thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate this time.
Like, one of my favorite people. We have fun.
Yay.